Welcome back to our show. The first first hour rather, that we spent, Coach Ward stimulated a lot of interest. I'm sure that we're looking forward to the methods and techniques that Coach Ward's used with the Cowboys. He used a lot of innovation. He's going to show us some of those drills that he uses during this next hour, then we'll have time for questions again. Coach Ward?
Thanks, Jim. I think the thing that our camps have taught us, quite frankly, are that in dealing with so many youngsters, we have over 1,000 kids come to the Oklahoma State campus each year as a part of Mid-America All-Star Baseball camps. Those ages range from age 10 through 16, and so we're very used to teaching young players at the junior high and high school level this technique. And again, quite often when we send out one of our hitting tapes, the hitting machine, we'll have high school coaches come back and say, boy, that's very difficult, that's very intricate, that's almost too much. But the result later is this response. If you hear it and hear it and hear it, please understand you learn things mentally through the power of spaced repetition. You've got to hear an idea maybe 6, 7, or 8 different times over a period of 2 or 3 weeks. We don't expect for you to get up from your seat this afternoon and walk outside and be able to translate what you've heard here today into action. What we hope you do are take very good notes, develop some ideas, and then over the next couple of weeks you begin to practice some of these things, and you practice them in the field until they become an automatic response. I think in dealing with very young players, they must develop a personal plan of action. If you're age 11 or if you're age 16, you're going to have a lot of repetition. We mentioned earlier in the show it takes 21, maybe 35 days to learn a motor skill. So you've got to take this information you're getting, adapt it to how it fits you as a player relative to your age right now, then write it down and make up some goals that you have for yourself in your playing career, and then set about a plan of action. I'm going to practice this drill or that drill, or I'm going to do that 10 minutes, I'm going to do this 10 minutes every day. In fact, if you would, give some thought to sending me that plan of action at Oklahoma State University. I'd be interested in that. I have all my young kids leaving camp. Send me back a plan of action. I want to know what they're doing for the next 6 months. And as you get information, you've got to put it down, write it down, put it in notebooks, and then work at it day by day. Coaches do the same thing. They watch the film, the hitting machine, repeatedly. After they've watched it 6 and 7 and 8 and 9 times, some of them over the last 3 or 4 months have really studied it. Now they're really beginning to understand it to where they can teach it themselves. Give yourself time. Don't expect something to happen automatically. For the good player, and the guy is really dedicated, he has to have a passion for the game. I have a passion for hitting. I love to teach hitting. I've been in the business a long, long time. I still enjoy walking out on the field and teaching people to hit, whether you're 10, 17, you're a high school coach, you're a college player, you're an All-American, or you're a major leaguer hitting 40 home runs a year. I think we can teach you to improve your stroke. Stay patient with us and really take some good mental notes as we go through the remainder of the program. Where do we start? The major problem is that all of us in taking an action in our stride is we typically bring tension into our hands. As soon as we take a striding action and try to establish a power base, even if it's a good power base, we get tension right here. We lock the hands up. We lock them up. We push them away from us. We push them backwards. We make the bat get rigid, and we lock in the shoulders. We kill the baby bird. Keep that in mind. We've just picked a poor baby bird that's fallen out of the nest, and the poor thing doesn't even have feathers. They're ugly little suckers, aren't they? So you got it here in your hand, and you're going to pick this thing up, and you're going to hold it in your hands, and while this is relaxed and protecting the life of this poor baby bird, we are powerful downstairs. The hitting machine has kicked in. We're taking a striding action and moving to a power base, and we're collecting energy, and we're ready to ward off an attacker or consume the energy of the oncoming fastball, and yet our hands never reflect it. And yet in the majority of times we're dealing with hitters, we get guys, you know, with Howdy Doody effect. Now, I know some of you older people are the only ones that remember Howdy Doody, but it was a puppet. And we see this puppet action. We pull a string, and this works, and this is what most hitters look like. So we're going to isolate the hands first with what we call a touch system. And I'll give you some examples of players I've had over the years that have used it and why. My players have taught me most everything I need to know about correcting them, because in order to get them where I need them, to help our team win national championships, both of us have to make a remarkable commitment in energy and time. And as long as I stay passionate and upbeat and on fire about getting better, and that player will work his plan of action, we will arrive there together sometimes, and the results are a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun to be in Omaha. It's a lot of fun to be in a College World Series. It's a lot of fun to watch 75 or 80-year players go out and sign professional contracts. You've got to want to do that badly, and you've got to spend some time with the touch system to learn to protect the baby bird. Touch number 1, we take all the touches are what we say 60% of a basic swing, where most of us want a big swing. In here, big swing. We want to go to a basic arc. We're going to go basic, smaller. We're going to reduce down how much bat you have until you learn to use your legs properly so that you can keep your hands relaxed. So first is take the prehensile grip, finger and thumb of the top hand, get a hold of the jersey right at midpoint, right underneath the chin. Now obviously I'm not very strong from here, all right? But I'm going to work here, and I'm going to take a stride and power base, and I'm not going to let go of that jersey. Stride, bang, back knee, belly button takes a picture of the pitch. And I'm not going to let go. I'm going to try to keep it very relaxed until I can feel both the stride, the back knee trigger, and then the barrel can be released. So when we work in drills here in a little while, I'll show you some of our drills from touch positions. This is touch number 1. Now typically, it's not a good position for me because there are different strokes for different folks, because there are different people. I have basketball arms and hands, 34.5-inch sleeve lengths, long loose wrist, and extra large hands. As a result, this really creates problems for me. So touch number 1 is for the short, stocky, turtle type body. Think about turtle. You see guys that are built that way, big, strong, short muscled guys, short arms, short hands. Well, I have to work them closer and shorter. And this is the shortest of all. It's touch number 1, midpoint. Get a hold of the blouse, t-shirt, whatever the case may be, and keep contact with that until you stride action and just push. See how a little basic arc? All we're doing is coming right off the midpoint, just releasing the barrel. And when I hit this in live drills in the summertime at our camps, my best shot will be about 180 feet. I mean, I've got to really hit the ball right on the screws, right on the money to drive it 180 feet because it's a basic arc. But it gives me sequence. It gives me stride, back knee, lever assembly. 1, 2, 3. I begin to feel 1, 2, 3, release. 1, 2, 3, release with relaxed hand. I build sequence through the touch system. I take away power. It's a basic little arc of the stroke. But it gives me sequence, and we also use a term called connection. Ben Hogan, in his teaching of golf, often talked about connection. Feel the connection of the legs with the arms. We have ropes and gizmos we won't show you today, but we'll connect the legs and the arms so we feel connection in some of our drills when I have time to tie them off. Feel connection. Touch number 2 is a movement of the hands from the same point, midpoint of the body, moving the hands up and around the ear, even to the point of getting a hold of the earlobe, and getting into a situation where you're feeling a little tug right there. Well, I've had, notice none of my hitters are without their back earlobe, so they let go of it before they swing. But they also may stick a thumb against the neck, in this particular area here, a thumb against the neck, or just touch the bat on the neck. What they're trying to do, touch, is exactly that. They're trying to put themselves in a position where they feel where the bat is. Feel where the bat is, and then they take a striding action, back knee trigger, and as they feel the back knee trigger, release the barrel. And movement again. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Okay. 1, 2, lever assemblies 3, back elbow comes into the slot, release 4. Feeling sequence and connections what we're after. Feeling sequence and connections what we're after.